We're back with this conversation of candidates running for Long Beach City Attorney, and now we're in the part of the show where each can address a question to the other. And Charlie, your question for James.
Well, James, the City Attorney's Office has 67 employees and 20 attorneys. We all practice municipal law. I'd like you to walk through your municipal law experience, including any trial experience or any type of actual municipal law experience that you have.
Well, thanks, Charlie. I have worked for the City of Long Beach for 8 years. I've also been an attorney, a licensed member of the bar for 10 years. During my time as Long Beach, I should say at the City of Long Beach, I first came to work on charter reform. The city charter is the highest law, and when the city looked at structurally revising its charter, they brought me in from California's largest law firm to help revise that structural document. I'm proud to say I got that done. Page by page, we now have, I think, a modernized charter. After working on that city charter, I was hired by Long Beach City Auditor Laura Dowd. She brought me in as her number 2 to look over the city's legal contracts to make sure money was spent as intended. And of course, at the city, many things I did looked at our city taxes, our city revenues, etc. After that, of course, I've been teaching here at Cal State Long Beach, and as well as being a Long Beach City Council member.
Okay, thank you. And James, your opportunity to ask a question of Charlie.
Well, thanks, Art. Charlie, we already talked about pensions, but in terms of that 2002 decision, how would you have acted differently than the city attorney at the time, if at all, on that advising the city council?
Thanks, James. It's a good question, but it's a difficult question to answer because I guess you'd have to preface it, well, what did you know at the time you made the decision and what you knew? If you're asking today, would that decision be different? I'm sure it would. I think that what our job, though, is to provide the City Council with the legal framework on which they have to operate. The charter sets our restrictions, and we have to look at that. AB 616, which was passed by the state legislature and approved by the governor, allowed cities to make these kind of pension changes. And the city auditor and the city manager, the director of finance, we were asked about the legal implications of the contract. They were asked about whether they could afford to do it or not. So those were the people who went forward and were talking about the finances. Now in hindsight, it was, I think, a big mistake. Thank you.
Okay, fair enough. James, you, like your opponent and other candidates running, have engaged in an extensive mail campaign. We have gotten dozens and dozens of mailers from the various candidates, and I'm sure they'll start off again now in the runoff. And one of the points that some of your mailers make are that you are a Democrat and your opponent is not. He's an independent, and in one of the mailers from the Independent Expenditure Committee supporting you, they said he was trying to hide and parade as a Democrat, but he registered as an independent, so he is an independent. But the broader question of what difference does it make, in your view, whether the city attorney is a Democrat or a Republican or an independent or a decline to state?
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, first of all, I think it's not so much about partisanship, it's about integrity. Here we have a candidate who for 29 years was a Republican, and then in the morning announced he's running for city attorney, and then afternoon re-registered parties. I think pretty obviously he was trying to fool the people. He was trying to pretend like he's someone he's not. I believe that, look, I am a Democrat, and I have Republican friends and independent friends, and that's fine. There's great people of all parties in the city. But I'm not going to fool the people of Long Beach about who I am to win an election. And I think it's important that people know that when there are other tough decisions, I'm not going to change who I am or my principles based on political convenience.
But just for the record, you're not implying that a Republican city attorney is less qualified than a Democratic city
Look,
attorney.
people of all political parties can serve the city. I do think it's appropriate to talk about the values I have, Art, but yeah, okay. I hear what you're saying.
Charlie, I'll let you respond to.
Thank you, Art. Good question. Article 2, Section 6 of the California Constitution says that these city offices shall be nonpartisan and that the political parties won't nominate a candidate. I did change my party affiliation to independent. I didn't know that that was hiding, or I never hid it. I never said I didn't do that. I've never declined that. So I'm not sure why that has been an issue in our race when we got a lot of serious issues to talk about. I think as an independent, it gives me freedom to talk and work with both sides of the aisle equally, And that's what the city attorney has to do. This can't be a partisan race. This can't be, I'm a Democrat, so vote for me and line your endorsements up based upon party affiliation. That's not what the California Constitution envisions. That's not what we should be doing.
James, another one of your mailers involved an Indonesian woman who you helped on a pro bono basis get her citizenship. I was a slave in California for many years, and she has some nice things to say about you. Not quite clear what the relevance of that is to serving a city attorney.
Well, Art, the next city attorney needs to be both a great leader and a great attorney. And I think what that piece is talking about is how I helped this woman find justice as her litigator. This is a very difficult case. This is a case where prosecutors refused to bring the case. This is a case where she'd been abused physically and sexually for many years. And I helped her get a just outcome. I think the next city attorney should be someone who's interested in justice, both for the people of Long Beach and, of course, that the city of Long Beach is a city that has just outcomes, so I think that is relevant.
If I may, just
please.
I think that flyer was outrageous. I think it victimized that person a second time by putting her out there as a victim and then using that for his own publicity and his own personal gain. I think that was a horrendous piece.
Well, you know, Art, I think it's funny that Charlie thinks he knows that woman's interest better than she does, because I'm happy to say that I talked to her and asked her would she be interested in doing this, and she said yes, she approved it. She said, you know, James, I want to tell my story, and I'm happy she was willing to do that, but apparently Charlie thinks he can speak better for her.
Okay, fair enough. And we'll be continuing with the show after these messages.
How do you like your chances the rest of the way?
I got no idea. But I do know that if we stay with Naples Rib Company, at least we won't go hungry.
Coach, what do you think about some of those questionable calls tonight?
Yeah, but if you want a sound call, I'd call Naples Rib Company. You can't miss on that call.
Then Naples Rib Company is part of your game plan?
There really is nothing more motivating than a great barbecue meal at Naples Rib Company.
Victory or not, Naples Rib Company, great game plan.
Founded in 1976, Polly's Gourmet Coffee is Southern California's most complete gourmet coffee store. Polly's has the best tasting coffee, freshly roasted every day right in the store, plus a wide selection of teas, an in-house bakery, espresso bar, patio dining, and more. We also offer Wi-Fi, free internet access for all of our customers. Our nationwide clientele agree, when it comes to coffee, there's only one name to remember, Polly's, 4606 East 2nd Street, welcoming you into Belmont Shore.
When I was a boy growing up in Italy, I had a dream to own my own store. I came to the United States and I worked hard as a tailor. Hi, I'm Umberto. I've been in Long Beach since 1960, carrying the finest quality men's clothing. Italy's a long way away, but styles are just around the corner. Umberto, 2141 Bellflower, Long Beach.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Click the links.
Oh, sweet Lisa, you're so fine, like a very fine wine. Girl, I need you in my life. Will you be my wife?
Charter Internet has more bandwidth to support all your devices. Experience the power of Charter on the nation's fastest internet.
We're back with the candidates for city attorney for the city of Long Beach. Charlie, your mailers focused on comparing the experience of the two candidates, and you state in one of your mailers that your opponent would not have the qualifications to be, has less experience than the least qualified, the most junior member of your office. Would you explain that?
Absolutely, Art. That's absolutely true. Mr. Johnson has no trial experience and no actual municipal law experience. I believe he has 1 year and 11 months at one firm and less than 6 months at another as his total legal experience. All of the people in our office come to us with experience, usually from big firms working on municipal law matters. So there isn't an attorney in our office that would come to James and ask for advice because they have more experience than James does.
James, I know that your focus is on the leadership abilities of the person at the top, and in your view, extensive trial experience is not important.
Well, it's not a trial position, obviously.
It's not a trial position. You went to Harvard and went to a fine law school, Berkeley, and in your view, the leadership experience is more important than the trial experience?
Yeah, I think this is a leadership position. Why do we elect our city attorney? We elect the city attorney because it is a critical leadership position, and in a democracy, we should elect our leaders. So I think really the question here is who can lead this team to greatness? I'm proud of what I've done to the city, helping reform our city charter, our IS law. I'm proud of the fact that I put together the legal plan that led to $230 million in pension savings. I'm proud of looking over the city's contracts as a city auditor. So clearly I've done a lot with my legal background as a leader. But I think the reason I can be a great city attorney is because of my leadership experience, and in fact I can stand up to special interests and do what's right for the public interest.
And Charlie, I guess you would argue that your many years of service in the office of the city attorney would make you a better leader by virtue of that experience.
Absolutely, Art. I think that I've sat in every chair in that office. I've been in trial, I've worked in the trial section, I've worked in the litigation section, I've worked with Harbor, and I've earned the trust and respect of all of the attorneys in the office. Every attorney in that office has endorsed me in this race, and they can come to me and know that I have been there, I have done what they're doing, and together we can work on a solution to those difficult problems that our office faces every day. We're a mid-sized law firm, and you wouldn't hire a managing partner that has no experience with what your firm does.
James?
Well, look, Art, if you want someone who's sat at a desk the longest, then you should vote for Charlie Parkin. But if you want someone who's stood up on the toughest issues, that's James Johnson. This is a leadership position. This is not just a staff promotion. I think the last city attorney resigned early to give Charlie a quote, leg up in this race. I think that was wrong, but it also showed that they think it's the city attorney, the last city attorney, who picks it. This is a leadership position for the people to choose. I think I've shown I can do what's right for the city, and I'll do that as the next Long Beach city attorney.
Charlie? If I may briefly, Mr. Shannon did retire early, but under our charter that James talks about, which I don't believe he did reform, but under our charter, the city council appointed me as the acting city attorney, and then after a recruitment process, there was a second vote, and they voted to have me complete that term. So they don't even decide who the next city attorney is until that city attorney is gone. So I think he mischaracterizes how it happened.
Okay, fair enough, and we'll be back with the rest of our show after these messages.
Phil Trainees mixes California style with continental cuisine that includes fresh seafood from around the world. Since Phil is the chef, the menu has a wide variety of pastas, salads, soups, and appetizers that feature his unique personal touch. And the Italian-American signature dishes are simply beyond delicious. You never know who you're going to run into at Trainees, from the famous sports legends on the Wall of Fame to local celebrities having a drink at the bar. For the best fine dining experience, visit Phil Trainees.
I want to improve my career opportunities.
I want to earn a higher salary at my job.
I'd like to finish what I started.
The new Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Arts degree completion program at Cal State Long Beach will help you achieve your educational goals while keeping your life in balance. Contact our customer service center at 1-800-963-2250 for more information, or visit us on the web. Let CSULB help you finish what you started.
Take care of those who are closest to you, from our family to yours. McCarty's Jewelry, since 1932.
The most difficult thing about becoming a Long Beach Police Explorer?
The first week. For a young age, it's a great opportunity.
If it wasn't for this program, God knows where I'd be.
So many doors open for you.
All the training that you receive.
Before I started this program, I didn't have a sense of confidence. It really gave me that sense of direction. It gave me the right mentors, the right people I needed.
It's the best choice I've made.
This program has really taught me what life is about and really prepared me to live another day and feel proud to serve my community.